So, why is perspective integral in helping you become successful? I think this is a very important question. I think it's a question not a lot of people think about because not a lot of people can see outside of their own perception. I was watching a lot of videos recently about what is the difference between perception and perspective. And it's something that's so key for us to understand that perception is how the world wants us to see ourselves, and perspective is how we see ourselves in the world around us. There are a few points I want to consider when discussing this topic. The first one is that we are who we are. We're born as the person that we are, and there's nothing in this reality that can really change that fact. The second point is that we have to become conscious, we have to become aware of all of the aspects of life that are around us. And after we can become more conscious of what are the things that surround us on a daily basis, we can find meaning in the details that we miss. Maybe you can think about it as the things that we take for granted every day. So every day you wake up as the person that you are. Every morning you wake up, you take a look in the mirror. And though you might have gotten older over the years, you're still that person. You still have those same eyes looking back at you. And even if, we grow older, we always feel like a child on the inside. We always feel the same on the inside. And there's nothing that can really change that about us. Today, it's so easy to get lost in another person's perspective, in another person's world, because we have that access 24/7. We can take a look at someone else's Instagram, we can take a look at somebody else's Facebook, and see everything that's going on in their life, see where they've been, who they surround themselves with, and it takes us off the mark. It takes us off the perspective of our original self. And though we don't think so, though we just think that we're looking at their pictures or videos passively, every action that we take in terms of, our focus, our concentration is going into that other person. It's kind of like a currency. It's like you're giving more money, giving more of your currency to that person, and the currency can be considered attention. So what is the first step to counteract this? This would have to be to cut yourself off from all of these distractions, from all of these things that will become a problem for you. Because for some reason, social media is so addictive because we can live another person's perception, we can live another person's life without actually having to do anything. You can sit on a couch all day and scroll through Instagram and know everything about a person. But it's kind of like cutting through all of their experiences without ever having to experience anything. The second thing that you have to do is to conquer your fear of yourself. And this is another huge problem in modern day society, is that not enough of us just sit down and ponder our own life, think about our own life, what is going on with ourselves. Because we have all of these distractions, because we have all of these games, we have all of these things that magnetize us, magnetize our attention to anything else but ourselves, our own reality, who we are in terms of the people closest to us, and what are the things that have brought me up to this moment, and what are the things that will be upcoming in my life. I think these are the things that a lot of people just miss thinking about because there is no reason to. Another part of this is trusting in what you naturally believe, or I guess the American phrase would be trusting in your gut. You know what are the things that you believe in. You know what are the things that you've seen with your own eyes that you can trust, that you can understand. And, go towards those things rather than things that may stray you from what you already know. I guess the only way to put it is, what is your gut feeling in these situations where you consider yourself? And I don't mean to do anything too extreme, but following that feeling of who you are is important. When we begin to grow into ourselves through our isolation, through our thoughtfulness, then we begin to see the good things and the bad things in our life non-judgmentally. And when we are non-judgmental about the events that happen in our life, then we can start to discern, if I go here, if I do this thing, what will be the outcome? Because we're able to non-judgmentally understand that these events occur because there is a chain of events, there's a chain reaction that happens with every action that we start to take. And when we start to take these events as one after the other, then we can start to see the world in a mindset that allows us to think bigger, to think larger, to have a worldly mindset. And this is the next step to realizing that events in our life pertain to ourselves, but in a sense that they can reoccur, they can happen for anyone. If you just see it for what it is, if you just see your reaction, if you just see the way that events unfold, that they happen for almost everyone. Though we believe that they don't, they really do. So inevitably, we start to find patterns in how reality works, how society works, how person-to-person communication works. And through these patterns, we can discern what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. That's definitely something I want to discuss in another video. But by being conscious of every aspect in our life, it allows us to control a lot more. And through that, you'll see things come up that you will have some control over in your life. Things like the timing of our days, the schedules, how much time we can spend on certain activities, our motivations, our actions, our intentions, our urges to do things good and bad. They become more apparent when you build a perspective around the right things to attain in life and what is useless in life at the same time. And I think a core belief of this, or just a core belief I have myself, is to listen more than you speak. Because there's a lot more going on than you're aware of. And unless you quiet yourself down first, then you'll never become aware of these things. A lot of people think that being the loudest person in the room or being the most talkative person in the room shows dominance, shows power. But the reality is that when you hold your silence in these situations, then you know exactly what's happening. And you can shift the dynamics of a situation through your gestures, through your silence, rather than being loud or verbose. So the last idea I want to talk about is finding meaning in the details that you miss. Finding the things that we take for granted are caused by what? Why do we take those things for granted? Who enables those things in our lives that we take for granted? Why are those things so important? This is something that a very few people think about, and this is something that the people that make the most out of life and the people that invest the most in life are the ones who are providing these things that we take for granted every day. 99% of people will miss these small details, just like you and me. So it's up to us to bring ourselves up to this level of consciousness, to this level of understanding, to this perspective we have of ourselves, to determine what are the things that we miss and how can we incorporate these things into our life to make it better. I would say one thing that becomes very important to your perspective is striving to understand your source. Who are you in terms of your family? Who are you in terms of your geographical location, your country, your language, your habits, your rituals? These things are your source, though a lot of people think that we can change our source, we can change who we are, we can say who we are, but we're really not that. But because we tell people we are that, then we are that. But in reality, we all have a source. We all have a place that we originated from. We all have the people that gave birth to us, the people who influenced us to help us grow. And these people cannot be forgotten. These ideas of nationhood, countryhood, brotherhood, family, these are inescapable concepts in everyone's life. So understanding our source becomes key, becomes integral into building this perspective. If you erase your source from who you are, then inevitably that will come back to haunt you. Because at the very core level, you are this. And no matter how much we want to change this, it's not something that we can do. So this is the point when you find out what makes you you, and you've built up this perspective. And after you've considered this perspective, you consider who you are, you consider your strengths, your weaknesses, the things you've changed in your life to be able to grow, to be able to strive, then inevitably, it doesn't happen overnight. It might not happen over a week, a month, a year, a few years, but inevitably, you will reach some significant success in your life. And this is because you know who you are, and all of the people around you, okay, maybe all the people outside of your own circle, depending on who you are, they don't know who they are. And this is key. This is integral into striving to reach success. If you like content like this, and if you're interested in improving your life and improving who you are in terms of your success in society, then please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video and following my content. And I would really be so grateful for you to do that.